The following video is not made for kids under 13. If you are not 13 years old, please exit out of the video now. And please, YouTube, do not sue me. What up, guys? Mooky here, and I'm back with another part of What If Izuku Was Trained by All the Shonen Jump Protagonists. This is part 4. In the last part, Izuku basically took part during the entrance exam and also showed off all the skills that he's learned from his masters, and even destroyed the zero pointer with just one slash of his Zanpakuto, and him also getting the highest score in the entrance exam. Enough said, let's get into this. As Izuku basically tells his mother the good news about him getting the highest score and also getting into UA. As for somewhere else in Masafu, a young All Might speaks with a man in a suit and wearing glasses, is saying, and then he had actually created clones of himself and used all of his multiple abilities to help out other participants. He's physically strong and powerful. His reaction speed is even beyond the level of a pro. If anything, I think he even surpassed me, if anything. As the man in the suit says, "You really believe in this boy so easily? You really think he is worthy of one for all?" As saying, "I know he was worthy, and still is to this day. However, he told me to give my quirk to somebody else, somebody that he believes is more worthy than him. And that being a friend of his, well, more of a classmate of his, actually. Who also made it to second place in the entrance exam. If anything, it's quite unique on how high he got that. How high he was close to getting until young Midoriya surpassed him, beating him both in villain points and rescue points as well. Surpassing my record and beating my record, creating another world record that I doubt anybody can beat. If anything, he's so superior, and I believe it's due to his quirk." As the man in the suit saying, "Even you still have one for all, and yet he told you to give it to somebody whose attitude and is quite emotionally unstable. Not only that, he doesn't seem like he wants to work alongside anybody, but he seems to take you seriously. He's complete and total opposite of Togeda." As All Might saying, "Please, Nighteye, I just want you to help me train him, if anything." As soon after, a boy with blonde hair and with that of a cartoonish face walks in, but is in pretty built body, walks in saying, "Sir, I got you footage that you wanted from the entrance exam. Thank you, Mirio. I appreciate it." As the boy hands over a flash drive and puts it into his laptop, where he accesses it and sees a lone video file and it being that's of Izuku. As Mirio saying, "It was surprising. Normally, when it comes to the entrance exam, there's only a few people that stand out, but he stand out completely. It looked like the guy had multiple quirks all enrolled into one. It was so amazing. Like, there was his clones, then he ran so fast that it looked like he was teleporting. Then there was a time, then he bust out a sword where it looked like it conducted water and fire. Then he blasts somebody, then he blasts one of the robots with fire." As Mirio goes on and on about what he saw with Izuku. As Sir says, "First All Might, now you, Mirio." As Mirio says, "Oh, sorry, sir," is saying, "It's good to see you again, Might, and if you I need to go on my way. As before he left, he has, "Oh, All Might, what's the name of that kid again? I don't remember." As saying his name is Izuku Midoriya. He's quite a unique kid, and starting the next 2 months or so, he'll be heading into UA, and most likely he'll be in Class 1A, as Mirio soon begins thinking, as he wants to see what Izuku really is capable of. With Mirio begin thinking to himself, as he's saying, "I see. Well then, I hope I get to meet him at UA," as he leaves Sir Nightaye's office and begins leaving his agency, where he gets a message from two of his fellow Big Three members, being Tamaki Amajigi and Nejire Hado. As Nejire was pretty curious and wanting to know about Izuku, and since Mirio wouldn't stop talking about him while he snuck off to see the entrance exam for Sir Nighteye. As Mirio wanted to keep this a secret from his extremely curious, classmate. And, however, knowing his childhood friend, Tamaki, he knew it was going to slip out sooner or later due to his nervousness. But he's not mad, as he begins explaining, Izuku and what he saw at the entrance exam. As Nejire gets more and more curious and more interested in Izuku, wanting to see what he can really do, and really hopes that she meets him at UA, or possibly even sooner than that. As Tamaki tries to, calm down his bubbly classmate over a message, but seems like that's not going to happen anytime soon, with Mirio soon exiting out of the group message and saying that this year is going to be quite crazy and I can't wait. As the 2 months go by and Izuku is finally graduated from his junior high school and is now a UA student. But during the 2 months before he enrolled into UA, he still began trying to figure out how to get his Bankai, as the only thing he probably doesn't know how to is speak to his Zanpakuto again, because the only time he did is when he awokened his Zanpakuto, when it was born after all. So he thought about talking to it, but every chance he tried, it just ended in failure, believing that Yusa just won't speak to him anymore. But trying to unlock his Bankai wasn't the only thing he was developing. He began developing his own special type of jutsus, as when it came to the Rasengan and the Chidori, he only knew those two jutsus, where both Sasuke and Naruto developed their own style of the Rasengan and Chidori, with the Rasen Shuriken and Chidori Senbo. He began developing his own style of the Chidori and Rasengan. For example, he began fusing lightning chakra within the Rasengan. And I know some of you may be thinking, but it's a wind nature jutsu, right? Wrong. In its base form, the Rasengan can take in any kind of chakra nature, being fire, wind, lightning, all that. So he developed his own style of the Rasengan by using lightning nature as the basis, where he developed his own Rasengan, being the Rasen Javelin, or in basic terms, it's the Rasen Javelin, where he stores up lightning chakra within the Rasengan and throws it at high speeds, where the spherical orb takes the form of a lightning javelin. As for the Chidori, he actually just doesn't really do anything special, since the Chidori Senbo is basically a long Chidori blade in the form of a spear. He decided to make something similar to that of Sasuke's sword, being Kusanagi, based off the legendary grass cutter sword. But he manipulates his lightning chakra, manipulates the Chidori into that of a form of a lightning sword. And it basically can cut through basically anything. Things that his Nejire katana or even his, triggers have a hard time cutting through. With this lightning-based sword jutsu, he has nothing to worry about. And to stabilize it much easier, he actually uses Nen being his transmuter specialty, since he also used lightning, since he has a specialty with lightning and wind after all. So again, it makes things way more easier. And also, I want to say this now, and part 2 of What If Izuku Was Trained by All the Shonen Jump Protagonists, I called Izuku's specialty of wind nature and lightning nature storm style, which I got that mixed up with. It's actually called swift style or typhoon release at that. Either one, pick your two. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, all the jutsus that are mixing both wind and lightning natures will now be called swift style jutsus now. So yeah, I'm sorry for all the Naruto fans who kind of got pissed off at that. I'm sorry. It's reasons like this why I have to do my research and why these come out once a month. Back to the story. As Izuku is preparing to go to UA, as his mother is nagging him, wondering if he has everything, he has his phone, he didn't put action figures in his backpack, as he says, "Mom, I'm fine, you don't have to worry," as saying, "Of course I don't, but it's a mother's job to worry about their child." As Izuku tells her, I'll be fine, I promise. As he goes out to the door, with that of a confident smile on his face. With Izuku heading all the way to, instead of taking a train station, he actually just, teleports halfway there instead easily, cutting a bit of his time that he would normally have taking the train station. Him actually teleporting and moving faster than light to UA instead, cutting at least a 50-long train ride to UA. As through this, he actually makes it there in about 20 minutes instead, which wasn't too bad given his time. He basically telling himself that he can improve on that. As he walks through the gates, he soon gets a message, and who other than from Mount Lady, of course, as she wishes him good luck on his first day into UA, and hopes for the best. As Izuku messaged that thanks for the encouragement, and be safe when patrolling as well. As soon after, she begins blushing after getting this message, with one of her sidekicks saying, "Hey, Mount Lady, who are you messaging? Your boyfriend?" As she begins feeling flustered, with her saying, "No, it's just a friend," as her sidekick with that of a sure face. As she began getting pissed off, saying, "It's true, he's just a friend," with her muttering to herself in quiet, saying, "Even if I did like him, which I kinda do, he's way too young for me." As she began thinking, even it's not like it matters though. As she began having an embarrassed, and her face begins being so pretty red right now. Going back to Izuku, as he walks up heading to UA, as he thinks, seriously, who puts a school on the top of a mountain? This is insane. As Izuku begins remembering that, wait, I trained on a mountain for almost an entire year with Master Tanjiro. It's not like it's gonna be a bother, but it is just kind of weird. But I think it's more of a bother for all the other students of UA. As he's finally reached the school, he opens the door, and where he sees a girl with long periwinkle blue hair, and with blue eyes, who's at least almost the same height or at least 1 inch shorter than Izuku is, right in front of him, as she says, I've been waiting for you, as saying, wait, what? As he's dumbfounded, thinking that a girl has been waiting for him, as he begins thinking that maybe she was one of the girls that maybe one of the participants during the entrance exam that one of his clones might have helped. But then he began realizing that he would have remembered her after releasing the jutsu. All the memories of his clones would have gone back to him. He would have known to see somebody like her, and yet she knows who Izuku already is, as she's saying, my name is Nejire Hado. I'm a third year. I was a second year a couple months ago, but now I'm a third year. As saying, wait, so you're one of my senpais? Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, and what interest would you have in me? As she's saying, your quirk. You have one of my classmates, Mirio Togeda, has taken an interest in you, and so have I. So I wanted to meet you in person and see what kind of quirk do you have. As she began rapid firing questions right at Izuku, asking what kind of quirk does he have, what kind of skills did he learn, who does his quirk, what kind of abilities, does he have multiple quirks? The list goes on and on and on. As she's so close to him, it almost looks like she's trying to kiss him in a way. As Izuku gets really nervous and begins thinking that he hasn't felt this nervous since he was at least 14 years old. And that was when he was still training with Seiya and Gon. As he begins feeling a little bit uncomfortable, he soon disappears in front of Nejire, as she begins wondering, where did you? As he's right behind her, as says, I can't answer all your questions right now. I need to get to class. And as he bows, saying, I hope to meet you again, senpai. Is soon after he disappears again. As she begins thinking, I hope I do get to see him again. As since she was really close to Izuku, she began thinking that he was kind of a little bit cute in some way. As Izuku tries to catch his breath, as he prematurely used total concentration breathing and his Nen alongside his Cosmo at the same time, which put a big strain on his body because he didn't prepare himself. And soon thinks, next time that happens again, I gotta prepare myself. That means I need to get out of a situation like that pronto before it even happens. And plus, I can't tell them about my quirk. I can only tell them what some of the abilities I can do that I learned from my masters. But about my quirk itself, not a chance in hell. I can't risk it. I'm not ready to tell people besides my mom and All Might. Hell, Kachan wouldn't even believe me if I even told him outright. As he begins walking to Class 1A, as he sees a massive door, as saying, well, this is intimidating, is what I would say if I wasn't actually hyped. As he opens the massive door, he soon sees that there's not really many people in class. Instead, there's actually only a few people, being a boy with a bird for a head, a girl with a spiky ponytail, a boy with, half white and half red hair, and a boy that he met during the entrance exam, being the boy with the glasses. As he soon sees Izuku, as he begins coming out of his desk and standing up and heading to him. As Izuku, feeling a little bit nervous, preparing for his body if he needs to get out of there as soon as possible, and heads to his seat. As the boy with the glasses says, my name is Tenya Ida from the Somei Private School Academy. As Izuku saying, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Izuku Midoriya, and we were part of the same field for the entrance exam. I remember. As saying, yes, and I also wished to apologize, as saying, wait, really? As saying, before the entrance exam started, I ridiculed you, and not only that, you must have known about rescue points, and for that foresight, you knew what you had to do, and for that, I wish to apologize. As Izuku saying, hey, you don't have to apologize. I didn't know about rescue points, but I did kind of speculate they were a thing. As Ida hears this saying, then that means you did know about them. Even though you didn't know about them from the beginning, you knew that they would most likely become a factor. Another reason why you deserve to be here, especially since you got the highest points in entrance exam. As Izuku saying, you're just embarrassing me. With multiple people from in the class soon arriving as well, being Bakugo, as he sees Izuku saying, Deku! Damn it, so you are in my classroom. You gotta be kidding me. As Izuku looks at him with a smiling face saying, hey Kachan. So, I'm glad that the two of us are in classroom. Feels like things aren't gonna change anytime soon. As saying, you damn bastard. I saw what happened during the entrance exam. You got the highest score. For that, I'm not going to. As saying, tell me, you could have gotten close to the first place as well. So why didn't you? Because I know that you have it, don't you? As Bakugo was soon shocked, and his eyes widened. As Bakugo began thinking to himself, he doesn't know yet. He probably thinks I have one for all, and that's the reason why he thinks I could have gotten first place, and yet he got first in the entrance exam in the rankings. Damn it. Maybe I know. As he reassures himself that he will take one for all when he believes that he's ready by All Might, when All Might thinks he is ready to have one for all, not the other way around. As Bakugo says, just shut up and stay out of my way, and if you don't, I'll kill you. As he walked past both him and Ida, as he thinks, well, that was quite rude, if anything. The two of you know each other, and saying, we used to be childhood friends, but that's all I can say. As soon after, Izuku goes to take his seat, with Bakugo having his feet on his desk just like usual after all, with Ida complaining about that, as they go into the same argument like they did before Izuku came in. As a little time has gone by, soon after, the last person in Class 1A being Ochako, as she comes in the class, and she sees Izuku, as he's just sitting there seeing both Bakugo and Ida still arguing with each other. As she walks up to Izuku saying, hey, you're the boy who saved me and helped me out during the entrance exam. Wait, your name was Izuku, right? As saying, yep, that's me, and you're Ochako Uraraka. I'm glad that you actually got into the school as well. And also, I want to thank you for trying to help me out during the entrance exam. I appreciate it. As he gives off a little bit of a gentle smile, with, for some reason, Ochako can't help but to blush, saying, don't worry, I just wanted to help out. After all, I felt like you deserve more points after helping me. So, after that, Bakugo hears this saying, so this is the girl, so she must have helped you get in. That's bullshit. I won't allow that. As Izuku saying, calm down, Kachan, it's not like that. The reason I got higher is because of, as he cuts himself off, he soon noticed, it's really rude to just stand outside in a sleeping bag. As soon after, everyone in the class begins looking at Izuku, as some of them began wondering what the hell is he talking about. Even Bakugo thinks, what the hell, Deku, are you? As a man in all black, with black hair, and also carrying that of a sleeping bag, comes up saying, you knew I was out here all this time, and yet you didn't say anything. And is saying, you just got in there, You were waiting for us, so how long we would shut up. Am I right? As saying, you're pretty observant, if I'm going to be honest. I guess it makes sense since you got the highest score during the entrance exam. As he begins introducing himself as Shota Aizawa, their homeroom teacher. And soon after, he pulls out something that of a gym uniform out of his sleeping bag, saying, Put these on and meet me out in the practice field in the next 30 minutes. I don't like to be kept waiting. As soon after, he soon leaves, with everyone kind of confused on what he meant by that, with everyone getting on their UA gym uniforms and then meeting outside on the practice field, with Ochako actually saying, "But sir, aren't we going to miss the entrance ceremony?" As Aizawa says, if you're training to be a hero, you don't have time for pointless stuff like that. Right now, I want to engage and see how well all of you can do in Class 1A. As he pulls out a ball, and soon he tosses it to Izuku, where he catches it like it was nothing, with saying, "You, Midoriya, tell me, what was your farthest throw in junior high?" As saying, about 500 meters. After hearing this, Aizawa basically raises a brow, and everyone in Class 1A thinks that that's insane. It's impossible. He had to use his quirk or something like that. As soon after, Aizawa saying, I hardly believe it, but even so, tell me what is your farthest throw with your quirk?" As saying, you wouldn't believe me if I told you what my quirk could do, but I will tell you the truth. 500 meters is what happens when I don't really put my back into it. You want to see what happens when I do? As he's saying, sure, go ahead. Show me what you can do, but try and use your quirk. As saying, alright. As he begins stretching, and then Bakugo says, I need to see what he can do. The first time that he got me on guard, it was because I misunderstood the situation. But now, I want to see what he can do, so I can finally get the upper hand on this bastard. As Izuku is finally done stretching, he soon channels his concentration breathing, his Cosmo, his Nen. Then his dying will flames began to engulf around his hand, with accessing a small portion of his Tryon flowing through his body without using his trigger. Then also began using his chakra to increase his control. And last but not least, his Reishi, to at least help out a little bit of power that he can do. And soon, everyone begins feeling this overwhelming pressure, even though nothing has happened yet, as even Aizawa thinks, what the hell is this? Normally you would feel this from villains or something dangerous happening, but nothing's happened yet. And as soon after, Izuku tosses the ball in the air, as soon a giant shockwave knocks almost everyone back, is a couple of windows behind them began cracking, as Izuku was the only one still standing, with everyone trying to catch their bearings after what just happened. As even Aizawa looks at the meter on how far it went, as it went over 5,000 meters in the air. That's still a little bit of the fraction on what I can do. If you want to see me when I go all out, well then, you probably want to get a farther distance, if I'm going to be honest. As Izuku gives a bit of a smile to not just Aizawa, but to everyone in Class 1A. As soon after, Aizawa soon smiles, thinking, well, this is going to be an interesting year. And that's it. thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I would love to hear them. Also, I hope you guys enjoy this because more Shonen Jump protagonist Deku is coming out more this month. Just so you know, since I have no reason to do my research anymore. So I hope you guys enjoy, at least until Izuku gets his next teacher. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below, and also like and subscribe, which helps out my channel a lot. Any rate, this is Mooky, signing out. Later.